Hello, in this video I will be talking you through how to take a file directly off of your Panasonic GH4 4K enabled DSLR camera and convert it to a file that can be playable on your Vizio 4K television. When you first connect your GH4 to your computer through your USB wire, turn it on and you will get the folder for your GH4, navigate to where the files are, and drag them to your hard drive. I've done that here. Here's a collection of QuickTime movies directly off of my GH4. If I play it with VLC, this is what it is. We can see it was recorded in Cinema 4K, which is 4096 by 2178. Now, if you've recorded in UHD on your GH4, then there'll be one less step you need to worry about. You'll still have to follow some other steps in this video, but I'll tell you which one to ignore. But for right now, all the steps we need to do are going to be with this one because it is not at the proper aspect ratio. Even though your Vizio television may have been marketed as a 4K television, technically it's not. It's 3840 by 2026. A few pixels off. Not too bad, but not literally 4K. Anyway, okay, but hey, so this is not literally 4K either. It's actually larger than 4K. We can't deal with exacts here, I guess. I don't know. So what we're going to do is take this file and import it into Handbrake. This is what you need. You need an application called Handbrake. Now I could just drag it onto the window here if I want to. I could have also clicked Source and navigated to it. Now if this window, if you're on a Mac, if this window is something completely different, you're on your desktop or something, but you have it open here, you could also just click this. This will work with any application. Just drag it right onto there, and it opens up the space and highlights it. It's all pretty great. So here wait, no valid source found. I must have, oh well, let's put it back on. Wait, huh? What the heck? Let's try that again. Maybe I need to do it this way now. I confused Handbrake. So, now while it's going, you'll see that I have some of these stored already. I've saved these settings so I don't have to do this every time. I did it once and somehow it got messed up, so I've relabeled that old and then I redid it again. I could totally delete this at the top here, but I am a hoarder, so it's still there. Maybe I can figure out what the problem was. I don't know. But this is the setting. When I click on it, it's going to change everything for me, but we're going to go in and show you how to do this specifically. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Picture Settings right up here. And you're going to want to type in 3840. And you're going to want to check Keep Aspect Ratio. That way, you're not squishing it more than it needs to be. If I go down 1 pixel, then this goes down a couple pixels. It'll keep the aspect ratio as proper as possible, as it can be, as locked as it can be. Anamorphic, no. Modules, I'm not sure what that is, but I've left it at 2. Cropping, I've left this at custom and 000 because I believe when it was an automatic, it was actually adding 1 or 2 up here. So click custom and force everything to be at 0. I don't need any picture filters, so that's fine. But the most important thing right here is that it's at 3840 and that height is 2026. And that you've locked your aspect ratio. When it comes to converting to a 4K file, quote unquote, you are going to have to convert it in H.265. You cannot play 4K files on your Vizio television in the H.264 compression codec. It must be H.265, so be sure you have that selected. Now, if the format is MP4 or MKV, it does not matter. Your Vizio 4K television will play both. But regardless, MP4 or MKV, it must be the H.265 codec. I prefer MP4 because, you know, I just like it. That's just my personal preference. It's all personal preference. Make sure you've selected constant frame rate. Don't touch any of these guys down here, the encoder options. Video quality is constant quality. It's at RF20. I don't remember if I adjusted that or not, but if yours is not, go ahead, put it there, I suppose. You can play around with settings. I don't think that will hurt the compatibility. It will play regardless. Audio, subtitles, and chapters I've left alone. Choose where you want it to save to. I'm going to have it saved to the folder that the original one is in, but I'm going to add a B or a 2. This is just for me. You can save it anywhere you want to have it saved, but I'm not going to click anything yet. Okay, so we've got that. Now, if you like all of these settings and you want to save it like I did, click this plus button right down here. Name it what you will. I can call this demo. It's verifying all of the things. I don't have any picture filters selected, but I'm going to uncheck it anyway. Description. Now the demo, whatever it says here, that's what's going to show up right here. Just testing. Click on add, and there's demo. So you can see the output setting names, Vizio, demo. And once you've got it as you want, go ahead and click add to queue. Or you can just hit start if you want. You would hit add to queue if you're going to go ahead and do multiple ones, so I'm just going to hit start. It says overwrite because it's saving to the same folder. I'm going to add a little number to it, letter to it. Oh goodness. Okay, now let's click start. And we're going to go ahead and show the cues to see what's going on. Here we are. And we're off. Let me move this further down. So you don't have to have your queue open. I can go ahead and close this. You'll have the progress bar down here. Let me show the queue again though. And let me zoom in on here and what we're doing. So again, the source was 4096 by 2160. The output is going to be 3840 by 2026. You can see the crop has been set, so there's no crops. There's 0 pixels crop from the top, bottom, left, or right, keeping the aspect ratio. We are using the H.265 encoder. The frame rate is same as source, whether that was 24p, 30p, 60p. Constant quality at 20, which I don't really understand what that number means, and I don't remember how I got to 20, but it's doing what it's doing fine for me. And we haven't messed with anything with the audio. And this is an MP4, though it could be an MKV. And the preset we use, I've titled it Vizio UHD 3840 by 2026. And I'm going to go ahead and pause this recording and then come back when it's done. So stay tuned. Now I did say there was a step that you could skip if you had shot in Ultra HD mode on your GH4, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention it now, which I think you might know already at this point, is that if you shot in Ultra HD mode, then your size was already 3840 by 2026. So when you load your Ultra HD video from the GH4 into Handbrake and you go to picture settings, you're probably not going to have to touch this at all. It's fine as is. The only thing you're going to have to worry about with your Ultra HD video when in Handbrake is to make sure that it's an H.265 and that it's an MP4 or an MKV file. And you can't really mess up the format step because it's forcing one or the other. There are no other options. So even if you don't touch this, whatever the default one is going to be fine. The only thing you have to worry about is making sure you've put it on H.265. And my queue is done, so that's good. And then click start. drag that UHD file over, make sure it's H.265, and hit start. And you're good to go. And now here is my MP4 file version of it. Now look at the file difference, 127.7 megabytes as compared to the original 555.5 megabyte file of the same thing. So once you have this, plug in your USB stick. This is my PNY, it's only 4 gigabytes, it's tiny, but you don't really need much, do you, with these small little files. Click and drag and drop it on over, and when this is done copying over, plug it into the back of your Vizio 4K television and follow the steps that I've laid out in my video on the Vizio's capabilities with its USB media. It's pretty great. And I hope that helps everyone in converting their files from their GH4 into a playable version on their 4K television. Leave any questions, concerns, comments, praise, threats, anything you'd like in the comments. Thank you.